In the time it takes to watch this video, your coder could have scripted your entire game. This is JigScript, the first power scripting language for Unity game engine created by Molecular Jig Studios. Unity developers often suffer from lessened productivity due to repeated tasks and context switching. Let's look at the top 3 ways coders waste time in Unity.
I spend a lot of time attaching scripts to different objects in my scene. To keep things organized, I tend to have several scripts attached to the same object. After I make a script that makes use of prefabs, I have to bind that prefab to the object. Sometimes if I make a change to the game object, I have to bind everything over again. Whenever that happens, I go around the room and flip every table.
A lot of the fine-tuning I do with scripts require me to tweak a value, change logic, or do some mundane and highly repetitive task. I would definitely prefer it if I didn't have to restart play mode every time I wanted to test a small change.
Here at Molecular Jig, we believe that coders want a code base, not a many-to-many relationship between behavior scripts and game objects. JigScript minimizes this frustration by providing a game object that serves as a single point of contact between all your game objects and your scripts. With JigScript, binding game objects to scripts and scripts to game objects has never been easier. To bind a game object to JigScript, you just have to name it. With JigScript, you never have to restart your game run to recompile and test updated code. The code recompiles and rebuilds while the game is running in the Unity editor. JigScript features powerful new game programming constructs that are easy to understand and more efficient than traditional Unity code. The when statement is a perfect example of this. When designing a game, the designer will likely write down the game interactions as a series of states and state changes. The idea of a game loop, however, does not allow for code that creates the interaction to be that simple. Ideas that should be easy become complex when coded into the game loop. This is an unnecessary complexity that we have removed with JigScript. Now code can look as simple as the interactions they represent. Tasks that the average coder has to do over time are reduced or even removed completely when using JigScript, ultimately reducing the time cost associated with scripting in Unity by almost 30%. Skeptics may assert that with simplicity comes reduced performance. The JigScript compiler, however, often produces more performant code than its C# counterpart. JigScript was invented by this woman, Kelly Wilson, a former Microsoft employee that worked on Visual Studio as well as Microsoft XNA. Kelly lives to make game programming platforms that are performant, easy to understand, and amplify effectiveness of even the most seasoned programmer.
Unity lowered the bar for entry a lot from what it was in the past. JigScript allows me to stay in run mode, prototype the idea, and have the designer looking over my shoulder going, oh, I see how this could work. So instead of taking a day or a week to prototype something and get it back, now we can do it in minutes.
So what are you waiting for? Kelly likes it, so you should too. Start using JigScript today and start making every developer second count. Thanks for watching.